So first of all, let me tell you that I'm a huge fan of your work, and I'm a huge fan of Dark. And having said that, I've watched 6 episodes of 1899, and I can't crack it. It's so complex. It's even more complex than Dark. And my first question is, how did you come up with the idea and the process of developing the story? How long did it take?
It really is a process. Like, you don't wake up one morning and you're like, oh, I know the complete storyline for a new show. So you start very simple. And in this case, there were two things coming together. One was just a picture we stumbled upon of a man, white shirt, completely covered in blood, hammer in his hand on a very old ship. And it doesn't really have anything to do with 1899 anymore, but it was like the very first moment where we started to think about where does he come from? Where is he going? Could he be an immigrant? Like, that was like the very beginning. And then at the same time, the refugee crisis was happening in Europe, and we felt like everything was falling apart. And we believe, we really truly believe that we're global citizens, and we wanted to do an experiment with that story and basically take the world and put it on a ship and just see how people cope with situations when they're not able to communicate with each other. That was like the second ingredient. But years and years passed, and this shaped into a whole lot of things. So it's really just getting one step, this idea, creating characters, a world, and then now we're here.
Okay, I know that we're not supposed to spoil anything, but I'm still looking for a clue, any clue, because I know that there are so many references in the show, such as Lost, for instance. I don't know if I see it correctly, but can you give us any clue except from the, rather simple description of the show that it's about a bunch of international people traveling to New York, trying to escape their past?
I think there are a lot of clues in Ep 1, and there's one big one we can spoiler, but maybe you will find it. But we can... The only thing that we can spoiler right now is, if Dark was about time and quantum physics, we definitely have another big philosophical question that is rooted in science too in 1899. But we can't spoil it, otherwise we take all the fun.
But the cool thing is, it is revealed in episode 7. So you don't have to wait that much longer.
Okay, so this is the one that I couldn't watch.
Yeah.
Tell me about the technical experience, because you used a new stage, the virtual stage, to create this amazing world, because it's very complex, it's very amazing, it's different because you didn't use real locations, or you didn't shoot on location. How did it change your work?
It was a very complex and interesting journey, because it, like, once the pandemic happened and we were in the situation that we actually wanted to shoot a pan-European show in different countries, like traveling there, shooting in a water tank, rebuilding parts of the ship, it became quite fast. We realized that this is not going to happen. It's no way we are going to travel during a pandemic. So the virtual technology, the volume technology, was really something that played into our hands, and we just embraced immediately, because it was the only way to actually make 1899. And it was such an amazing experience, because we learned so much new stuff, because it is something you have to put some effort in to learn, because basically you're merging gaming and filmmaking and creating something completely new. And some things you have to understand that they don't work so good, so you have to find solutions how you can make them work better. But in the end, we were really blown away, especially, for example, by the dining room, where people still, when they watch it, don't understand how that is a virtual space. But in reality, it's just 4 columns, tables in the middle, and the rest, even the extras, are all digitally projected from the volume in the background. So it was really an amazing experience, and something we will definitely do again.
Your characters, you play such important characters that you have to know what's behind this story, the story which I'm completely lost in. Did creators reveal what's it all about to you before, you started working on the show?
Sure, they gave us, or at least me, I think it's the same with you, they gave us the 8 episodes we were shooting, and we have shot so far for the first season. So they gave us everything we needed to know to create the characters and to find our way around the mysteries in the story. And that is sufficient because, it's a work in progress. We keep talking about things while we're shooting, and things might even change the way they were planned, and then they change it, from the results that we shot. But you can always be sure that they have such a close grip on the story that you can deeply trust them, that they will bring it to a logical and to a good end.
Watching the show, I couldn't shake the feeling that one of the main themes in 1899 is communication, or rather miscommunication. There are so many people from different countries speaking different languages and struggling to understand each other. How working in such an international environment affect your work?
I think it makes you listen a lot more. You have to really listen to people, especially physically, even watching someone, because you're trying to work out what they're trying to say, and that has great pluses and minuses creatively, because it's extremely endearing to explore that, and it's very useful to react with that, and then it can create some frustration, which you can also use in your character, because you're trying to explain something and someone's not understanding you. So there's a huge commitment to one another to try to make sense of everything, even from an actor's point of view or as a character's point of view. It's a really fun place to be, actually. Yeah.
Speaking about fun, the show is set mostly at sea and in very particular surroundings. Most of its locations do not exist in real life. You used a virtual stage. How did it affect your work as actors, working in this new environment?
Just enhanced it, really. It's not like green screen use, which you have to use pure imagination. We could see everything, and it's very sensory experience. We had rain machines, wind machines, a gimbal which moved our set, and the sea kind of would undulate around you, so you felt this sense of movement, and it was a gift, I think.
It looks like it must have been a struggle many times. It looks very, very hard. The amount of water on set. What was the biggest challenge for you?
It's very physical. Like physically, you need a lot of energy to sustain it for 6 months.
Oh my God.
Wasn't it 7?
Yeah.
It was a long time.
Yeah.
What made you interested in this show in particular, that you wanted to be in it?
Their work, Bo and Janš's work. They're brilliant.
Their work, the characters, they really bestow the actors with, is that a way of putting it? Because you're really giving them, and they give you like a pattern, but you can then start and fill it, and to make it grow and to make it blossom, which is nice. And they will always take you by your hand and lead you to the places where you need to be, and it's just a pleasure working that way.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's a story that you can really get yourself lost in, and for me, I love doing that. I think a lot of people do. That's why we watch, television or go to the movies, because we want to escape into something, and go on a journey. And I really felt that within this script.
Because it's not linear, the story, and work on characters must have been much more difficult for you.
Well, I wouldn't say difficult, it was joyful. It was maybe not easy, but difficult is not the right term. You need to work on it. You need to invest yourself. You need to be an explorer. You need to find out, and you need to make things grow. But you're not alone. You can do that, with the whole team together. Everyone's very helpful. Everyone was very friendly, so they helped you a lot. And you can see it maybe like a puzzle that's on your table with all the pieces face down, and then you gradually open one after the other. You learn something new about it and everything. You put it together in the end, and it makes up a picture. So actually, it's a very nice process.
So how do you stay consistent in your work if it's a puzzle?
It's a job.
Yeah, I think it's doing your homework, being prepared, turning up, and I've worked on the script, worked on the character. You know, a lot of, some actors, they just read the script and that's it. They start saying the words and there's no background, there's no depth to their roles. With this, everyone really stepped into the way that you should be as a creative, as an actor, as a storyteller, which is finding out the answers yourself, doing your homework, creating themes that are of interest that could, give you spontaneity or motivation, within the character. I think if you set yourself up strongly before you even start shooting, then the possibility of taking that character anywhere is in front of you. And that's when it's really fun, because you're not worried about your work, you're just enjoying what you're doing and where you can take it. And that's when you see some people do some fantastic creative performances.